Everybody is going to be broke soon. Today we're checking out a video from LaoY86. I'm going to link you guys to his channel, and it's actually titled, China has just banned rich people without warning. Yeah, that actually just happened. So we're going to jump in. By the way, if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure to hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe down below. And of course, members of the channel do get new videos early. If you'd like to learn more about that, click the join button down below this video. So this is wild. This is wild what's happening around us. There are a lot of rumblings right now about things that are happening in China. For example, rich people, they're having their passports confiscated. They are being they're being deleted from social media. A lot of them are fleeing the country. They're trying to flee China, and as a result, the Chinese government is stepping in to prevent these people from leaving the country. It's a very, very bad situation in China. The young people in the country are pissed. They're laying flat. China now is graduating over 1 million postgraduates every year. So it's like every year, I think it's like 1 million people or more earning PhDs versus the United States where it's like 52,000 every year. So there's an oversaturation of people with masters and PhDs in China, but there's no jobs for these people. When it comes to delivery jobs, the gig economy, those jobs are actually full. They're turning people away. And to get a job working as a delivery driver, there's a lot of these PhD graduates now fighting for delivery driver jobs in China. Yeah, they're actually being turned away from these jobs. And if you want to get one of these jobs, you either have to know someone or you have to bribe someone. That's the reality right now. A lot of these young people are also turning to food stalls, selling food. And if they're lucky and their parents are not helping them, their parents don't have that kind of money. So it's really bad what's going on. It's a massive breakdown in that place. It's a very interesting situation. It's a very, very interesting situation. You know, it's bad over there, and it's bad in the United States. I'm going to admit to you, I'm going to say, like, a lot of you in the comments, no matter what I say, I realize you're delusional. Completely delusional. There's so many of you that say that the US dollar is not going anywhere, especially with BRICS currency coming now. I've talked about this, where Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa are creating a currency that is backed by gold and other precious metals. Saudi Arabia is dropping the US dollar as the reserve currency for purchasing oil, and they're turning to BRICS. If you want to buy oil, you're going to need to pay in BRICS. If you want to buy products in China, you're going to have to pay in BRICS. If you want to buy products in India, you're going to have to pay in BRICS. This goes for suppliers, okay? This is very, very insane, and people don't comprehend this. I've realized this. Like, there's so many of you guys, no matter what I say, no matter what you see, you will continue to say the US will be just fine. The US is not going anywhere. Everything's going to be just fine. We're going to survive. Nothing like, bro, are you insane? Like, inflation continues to rise rapidly. You know, the money today is so different. It's so devalued that, you know, they've actually found recently that people are now making 30% less than they were before 2020. So than they were in 2019. 30% less on average than they were in 2019 as a result of inflation. 30% less. Are you guys crazy? So people have actually begun to make less money, significantly less money. All right? Wages have not kept up. And that's only going to be exasperated as AI really moves to take over a lot of jobs. But I've already told you, like, there's this idiot belief, and Elon Musk keeps on pushing this out there that, oh, you know, the ghost of Andrew Yang was right all along, and, you know, we're gonna have a universal high income. People are not gonna have to work anymore. They'll work as kind of a hobby. These people are lunatics. Like this is what happens. They get successful in one industry and they seem to think that we're heading for a utopia. These people are lunatics, absolute lunatics. Will the government start taxing companies? that basically get rid of all of your jobs, like, and replace, most of the jobs, or a great deal of jobs, and replace them with AI? Of course. Is the government going to give people that money, back, and give them a universal high income? Hell no. Hell no. Okay? They're going to stuff and line their pockets with that money. And any money that they do give you, it's going to be just enough to survive, but not enough to thrive. You'll forever be stuck in a cycle of poverty. It's a crazy reality. Like, there was a prediction that women were going to, in the 2020s, end up living in such desolate states that the rest of the world was going to ask, how did they end up in this condition? This is where we are ultimately headed, because most of the jobs that are going to be eliminated, something like 50% of all jobs that are going to be wiped out, are the vast majority of jobs that are going to be wiped out are specifically among women. And it's insane. They're going to lose most of their jobs. Men, on the other hand, just have to transition to other jobs. Infrastructure jobs are not going anywhere. These lunatics are acting like, oh, the AI is going to build the bridges. The AI is going to clean the streets. Here's the thing. You need people who can do these things. And if you try to run an entire society on AI, when something goes wrong, it's going to be a living hell. Oh, you're not going to need pilots anymore. The AI is going to fly the planes. People will fly plane, like, if there's any commercial pilots, they'll be doing it as kind of a hobby. Guys, can you imagine being in Spirit Airlines, like Spirit or Frontier, and AI is flying one of those Boeing jets, and we all know how much everyone believes in Boeing? Let's jump into this video because it's so insane.
The economy is so bad that they're banning rich people now. Tons of rich people are getting banned, censored, and erased by the Chinese government. They've enacted a campaign to go after people who create a wealth-flaunting persona. But this doesn't just stop at bans online, though. There are legal and political implications, too. And the real reasons behind this scary move are probably not what you think. And to me, this spells some serious disaster coming very soon for China's economy. Banning rich people. This couldn't end in disaster. Do you remember the last time that China banned rich people? Anyway, imagine if the US government overnight started banning Taylor Swift, Tom Brady, Tom Cruise, Morgan Freeman, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and all the big names. I mean, these are the movers and shakers of the US, and the people that just got banned in China are the movers and shakers of China. The people that drive millions and millions of followers' interests in China were simply wiped out overnight. These influencers have no influence anymore, and it wasn't their choice. Keep in mind, whenever you see something on the Chinese internet, it's popular for a reason. If it goes against what the government wants to portray, it won't be popular, or it will be outright banned. For example, China banned cleavage, and overnight, you could see cleavage blurred out on everything. And I'm not talking about adult content, because that's just banned outright in China, but I'm talking about normal videos of people are now being blurred. And don't forget that most of the relevant internet is completely blocked in China anyway. From YouTube, yes, I am illegal in China, especially the content that I make, to TikTok. Yes, the Chinese app that has caused such chaos and division in the US is even banned in their own country. The country that made it. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Anyway, one of the craziest things is China didn't just ban rich people now. Just a little while earlier, China banned poor people before. In fact, being poor and showing it on the internet is still illegal in China. I kid you not. Try to wrap your head around that. If you're poor and you show yourself being poor on the internet in China, you have legal ramifications. You can not only be banned from the internet, you can be arrested. I'm not even kidding. When the leadership declared that poverty was over, they cannot be wrong, right? They didn't actually do anything to eradicate the poverty. They just said it was over. So now it's illegal to show that you're poor. And I'm not joking. People were literally arrested for showing their wedding online. They didn't try to show that they were poor. They were simply just making a video that you could see that they were poor in the video. And they were arrested for making the country lose face, or to insinuate that maybe the government hasn't eradicated poverty. The government doesn't want people to see that there's people that are poor in China. In fact, like 600 million people are still living this way in China after their leader said that there wasn't any more poor people. It's this insane disconnect, this insane obsession with controlling the narrative that makes China so scary. And I personally noticed this in China too. You could be surrounded by abject poverty, as I often was, just 5 minutes outside of some of these cities, and in the majority of the countryside. And when I would talk to people, they would acknowledge that they were in fact poor, but they would just think that they were simply unlucky because of the people that they would see in the city centers with cars and the rich people that they would see on state-mandated propaganda television and internet videos that would show off people's wealth. They would say, yeah, those people are so well off, so China must be well off.
Now, guys, I want you to think about this. I've warned you what's coming. You know, everyone's like, oh, you know, Elon Musk is praising the ghost of Andrew Yang, like everybody's going to have a universal high income. The reality is it's going to be something like The Expanse. There's a TV show called The Expanse where it takes place hundreds of years into the future, and it shows what society is like in the future. And basically, there's not enough jobs for everyone, so the homeless are basically kept hidden from society. That's what's going to happen, all right? That's what's going to happen. When everything starts breaking down, they're going to take all of the homeless people and they're going to put them, the U.S. is going to try to hide them from society. And what they're going to do is they're going to put them in places like, you know, first they're going to try parks and like parks, but initially that's going to be hard too, because they don't want people to see them. So that's where you're going to end up with like, you know, things like those old, like, you know, old Walmarts that, you know, these giant areas where they basically empty out the stores. And then basically, and it's essentially a prison. It's essentially a prison, and they basically have all of these people in there. And you can, if you really work at it, you can fit a good couple thousand people in there. All right. Like a shanty town. And it's, you know, once you go in, you don't come out. And of course, there's going to be a whole lot of constitutional rights violations. But we actually live under a federal corporation, not a republic. You know, the Constitution, if you notice, law enforcement doesn't actually honor the Constitution because they don't know the Constitution. Most police officers don't know the Constitution. They're not taught the Constitution. They're taught that basically they're taught that basically they are the law, and there are specific things that they're supposed to do. And that's it. So basically, they can make it up as they go along. They have their own agenda. They don't follow the Constitution. And if they're brought before, if they're brought before legal experts who are basically say, you know, you did this and you did this, they'll straight up say like, yeah, I'll be honest, I don't actually know the law. The average IQ of a police officer is only like 100 or just like 102, 103. It's just above the average IQ of the typical person, and that's done deliberately because they found that when a person's IQ reaches a certain height, they stop following directions. They start to question their orders. So they basically just want foot soldiers that will do as they're told, typically in law enforcement. So they hire people that have lower IQs, and this is a fact. They've actually, like, there've been people who've actually sued, you know, because they scored too well on these exams, on law exams. And the courts have found that it is legal to exclude people from law enforcement if their IQ is too high. And their reasoning is, oh, it's because they would get bored very quickly. That's absolute BS. Some of these positions pay $100,000 a year. No, it's because they found that if a person has an IQ that's too high, they're going to start to question orders from their sergeants and higher ups. They're going to say, yeah, I'm not going to do certain things. They're going to start to look at the Constitution and say that this goes against the Constitution. So they don't actually want the Constitution followed. And most of the things that happen that in society where police do things that are illegal happens every day. It's never covered because most people don't have the funds to sue or to take any legal action. It's just the reality of it. It's just a terrible reality of it. Like I said, you know, I remember when I said that FEMA was on the way, and the future was gonna look like, you're going to ask a woman, like, are you a feminist? And she's going to say, Fema what? Fema who? Fema. Is that a new song? Is that a new dance? Did you say FEMA camp? Yeah, I've heard of those places. Oh, they're terrible. I don't want to go there. I've just always been a girly girl. You know, I love cooking and I love Jesus. You know, I just want to be a wife and a mother. Amen. Like, this is really what they're going to be on. This is what they are really going to be on. This doesn't mean the feminists will ever go away. I said this before and I'll say it again. Even if the label feminism goes away, the legacy of feminism will live on. You'll have women who don't identify as feminists, but they'll still be 100% feminist. Because you look at conservative women and you listen to the things that are coming out of their mouths, you look at the way that a lot of them dress, a lot of the way that they behave, and they're no better than their leftist counterparts. The only difference is they're basically trying to jump on a different bandwagon because, you know, the writing is on the wall. But once you get to know them, they're just as toxic as any others. Anyway, guys, don't forget that if you're enjoying the content on this channel and you want even more of this content, you can check out my Men Walking Away channel where I release daily videos. There's a link to it in the description of the video. Go check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Support the content. Guys, everybody is going to be broke soon. It's going to be a nightmare. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, Men Walking Away. And cheers.